How's it going out there? This is Feature Mine, and so the Conjuring movies are based on actual events. So there's a couple named, I believe their name was Ed and Lorraine Warren, and they their entire Conjuring universe movies have been based on their work and their investigations into the paranormal, and they're actually said to have pioneered the modern paranormal ghost hunting movement, where they were pretty much the first ones to go into investigations with their equipment, with their technology, and they have a lot of audio recordings and video recordings and artifacts that they've collected. Just a lot of evidence to show us that something is going on beyond what we would think is going on here on this earth. So their investigations reveal that there are beings down here with us, and they've been here for a long time with us. And so their investigations actually prove that the Bible is accurate when it was warning us about the fallen angels. Now, I say fallen angels more than I say demons, because I try to avoid saying the word demons very much, because you don't want to say words like that. If you want to limit things, as you want to limit saying certain words as much as possible, because our words hold power, and the Creator, God, created the universe using words and thoughts and stuff. So we want to be aware of the words that we're using. And so, yeah, fallen angels, I try to say more, but anyways, so the Ed and Lorraine movie, the Conjuring universe movies, there's a new one out called The Conjuring 3, and it just really reveals how there's evidence of these beings. Now, spoiler alert, but in The Conjuring 3, it just shows us that these beings are, they're wicked. It shows us how, the court didn't want to really hear the defense, because they didn't really think that was a defense to use, that this guy was possessed. But the suspect was facing the death penalty, and in the movie, the Ed and Lorraine Warren were able to present their case that this individual, the suspect, was actually possessed. And they didn't actually win the case, but the prosecutor went from demanding the death penalty to only giving this suspect about 5 years. So that shows us that the investigation provided enough information to at least get his sentence reduced, and then the penalty reduced. And then they had audio recordings, and just a lot of evidence to present. They had artifacts that showed that there was something going on with witchcraft, and so now we see that this stuff is real. And so ask yourself this, do you now believe that what the Bible is telling us is true? Like, for the people that are on the fence about the Bible, these people, so these movies are showing us that there's beings down here with us. Now, these beings, according to what I understand from the Bible, is these beings were kicked out of heaven, and now they're not allowed back into heaven. So they can't get beyond the firmament. And I'm going to be doing a video about that on my Patreon page very soon. So make sure you're signed up. But basically, according to the scriptures, there's angels that were kicked out of heaven, and there's about a third of them that were kicked down here to earth. And on top of that, there's demons that were the spirits of the Nephilim and the giants. So There's a lot of there's beings that are down here that where the firmament is like a prison to them, and they're not able to get beyond the firmament. They can't get back into heaven. And so with the Conjuring movies, it shows us that there's something to all of this information. And not only the Conjuring movies, but there's a lot of horror movies that before the movie starts, it will say that this movie is based on actual events. So we see the behavior of these beings are usually not good. There's tons of stories out there where it's showing us that these beings are wicked beings that are down here with us. Even Aleister Crowley had summoned one of these beings, and he drew one even, and what he drew looked a lot like an alien. So, and the being even told him that right now they're seen as demons and people call them demons and stuff. He said, but in the future they're going to call them by something else. So now we see with a lot of disclosure coming out that these beings, they're trying hard to be, they want to be called something else. So most likely they're going to be trying to be called aliens pretty soon. And they might even start revealing themselves again, just like before the days of Noah. So now this adds, now when you link this together with the Conjuring movies and the evidence out there, I mean, there was the Annabelle movie, which is based on an actual doll. I think it was a Raggedy Ann type doll that was said to be possessed. There's the Amityville situation that's all documented, and they did a lot of investigations into the Amityville house and found all types of paranormal activity and strange photographs and strange apparitions that appeared in photos and stuff like that. And it was a very strange event. So now ask yourself, does this prove the Bible? I mean, does this prove what the Bible's been telling us? I mean, other cultures will call the fallen ones the jinn. I mean, but it's pretty much comes down to like what do you believe that this is proof of the fallen ones? All these horror movies that are based on actual events, and you can look into the events and find actual evidence that these things did actually happen. So for the people on the fence, I mean, there's your evidence right there to start figuring it out, that this stuff, there's something to this stuff. And it's much better to figure it out like that way than to start trying to dabble into like Ouija boards and going to fortune tellers and psychics and tarot readings and stuff like that, because the people that usually like they're not so sure about if this stuff is real, those are usually the people I suspect that are the ones that open themselves up to possession because of their curiosity and their uncertainty about if the stuff's real or not. So they end up, to me, I think these are the people that end up experimenting with the Ouija board and stuff, and because they want to kind of know if this stuff's real, and they have so much doubt in their faith that this stuff's real, and they're real curious about whether it's real or not. And some of these people might end up dabbling in things that could open them up to possession. So it's better to figure out, like, if you think it's real or not. Now ask yourself, would you, now the Ed and Lorraine Warren are said to have this museum with all the artifacts in it. And if you go into that room, it says, first of all, I think it says do not enter. And then if you do enter, it says do not touch anything in there. And so ask yourself, would you go into that room? And if you were in that room, would you touch anything? And that will tell you whether or not you believe in the fallen angels or not. Because I know me personally, I wouldn't even go in the house. I wouldn't even find myself going in that house completely, like, not, let alone the room. I'm not gonna go in the house, and I'm definitely not touching anything. So I'm not like, I would stay as far away from that place as possible. I wouldn't even want to really live next door to that place. So that's the type of belief I have in all this stuff. Is like, I wouldn't want to dare go near that place. And so, like, let me know in the comment section, would you go into that room with the artifacts that Ed and Lorraine have, with all the artifacts from their paranormal investigations? I want to know in the comment section, would you go in that room, and would you touch anything in that room? And so I'll leave a link in the comment section in the description box for a tour of that room, and an interview with, I believe Lorraine's still alive. I mean, I don't know when this interview was conducted, but there's an interview I found, and she takes you on a tour through that room and explains how the movies are made based off of their actual real life events and everything. So I'll leave a link to that, so that you can check that out in the comment section and the description box. It's a short documentary, and so, like I said, I mean, it just looks like this information tells us that the Bible is accurate. I mean, the firmament is acting as a prison for these things. They're not allowed out of here. They came down here. They're so curious about Earth and humans in this physical realm, and they were told not to tamper with us, and they wanted to so bad that they came down here anyways and did what they wanted with us and with humans, and now they're not allowed back into heaven. So they, according to the Bible, we have power. We have authority. We have, you're not supposed to really be fearing these things. You're supposed to be using your authority and faith and your strength and God and His Son, the Messiah. You're supposed to really use their names and just have full faith in the power of the Creator and the power of His Son, the Messiah, and allow yourself to, use the armor of the Lord, armor of God, and don't go around be afraid of these things. Don't doubt that they exist either. I mean, don't start tampering with things to try to figure out if they're real or not. That can open you up to possession. So don't even dabble into that stuff. So, yeah, I'll leave all links in the comment section in the description box if you want to check out that short documentary. Also, I'll leave links to my social media and my other channels, and I'll also leave a link if you want to donate to the channel. You can donate as little as $1 to help keep things going here at Feed Your Mind. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Signing off.